good? What's good? I just wanted to talk to y'all real quick so we can have some clarity as to what is going on around here. Um, Here's the play. Our president-elect, President of the United States of America, Joe Biden, made promises to help reduce student debt loans. Blacks were saying, man, this student debt is out of control. And all it is a bank loan to get you in debt to start your life off. Because the economic system plan that's out here today is to keep you in debt. Your job is to pay on debt until you die. And then leave the debt for other people to pay when you're no longer here. Debt, 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 debt. That's the American system plan. America is living in debt. They owe trillions of dollars. It has no plans of reducing it. But every time we get a president, people blame him for everything that's going on. But he has been clearly one of the worst fiscal presidents of all time. And he's only been in there, what, a year? What's it been, a year? You got like 3 more years of this. So you got to ask yourself some things. You got to say, wow, okay, this is where we are with the standards. Where are we at with these student loans? Oh, well, the war comes first. We're not at war. The Ukrainians are at war. You got a war that's going on in your country. You were supposed to help even out the playing fields. For those who are out here with their hands tied behind their backs. As I told you, poor is a state of mind. People are in some of the predicaments they're in because of how their lives were. Absolutely. My thing is to Joe Biden, what is the play? Who's in charge? Where's the vice president? Where the hell she's been? What is she doing in office? What is she covering? Damn sure ain't helping us. So, because she was black for 45 minutes, that means that, okay, she gets to do whatever the hell she wants to do. Whenever the hell she wants to do it. And we just got to take it at face value and be like, that's just the way it is. I don't think that's fair. So why do we rush the polls to get them in the office? Because Trump was so bad. Okay. Was Trump that bad for us financially? I'm just saying. Got to start using our heads. I don't think we're using our heads the right way. I think we're using it in the wrong way. I think we're making huge mistakes out here. We're acting as if. Acting as if putting anybody else in there would change something. As someone said, man, see, no, it ain't gonna make no difference who the president is. He's just a puppet. Then why are we running out here marching in the streets talking about getting the president out of office? Why are we burning down where we live? Tearing up stores? Who that hurt? Them or you? Now you got to take 2 buses to go to the store now. And then some of those businesses did not come back. You didn't realize you seen people that didn't look like you tearing down and destroying things? You mean to tell me you ain't see that? I saw it. How you ain't see it? I saw that, but you didn't. Okay. People were independent at that time. Independent thinkers. Movers of the chains. That's what we like to call it. They were changing the way things go. Saying, hey, there need to be a new changing of the guard right here. We need to have that in play. Because the way it is now, that ain't working for us. But we didn't do that. Nah, we ain't do that. We ain't say let's try to get our own party together. Because we too busy not trusting each other. We don't trust the next man enough. But we trust Joe Biden. He must know what he's doing. He got a nice suit. And the man likes pizza. Yummy. But we don't see this. We act as if we didn't see it. We act as if we didn't see them stage all these bricks outside of the CNN building. Before the bricks and cement bricks start getting thrown into the glass and getting broken into. All this plan to get Biden in office. We act as if. We act as if it wasn't happening. Had to get a new water filter. I got it in there. I had to go get it one, which means I got to go get some more replacement water filter. See, that's what you do, people. You replace your water filters in your house. Some people don't do that. I do. I never felt like that. I always felt that I needed to make an example. You know what I mean? Like, I had to be the example, and like, I'm going to set a tone where people understand what it is to be me and be a good person and, do everything, law-abiding citizen. But this is what I mean. You gotta You got to live your truth. You know? You have to live your truth. Because you got so many people living in a lie. And when people are living in the lie, you have all of these different scenarios taking place where the majority of these people, they have no thought. Says anything positive, always the negative. Oh, let's take the negative angle. Let's take the negative drive and move that way. And it affects everybody around you. Everyone's like, man, you must be a Republican. No, not a Republican. Not at all. Not a Democrat. If anything, I'm an independent. If I vote for a candidate, it's because I believe in what they're actually saying that they can do. I'm not voting for them just to be voting for them. I mean, we've done that system. For all the blacks who are Democrats, I would say to you, why are you a Democrat? You don't even know. Not asking you to change to Republican. I'm just saying, why are you a Democrat? I'm asking the question. What is keeping you there? What do the Democrats bring to the table? Biden has already told me how he felt about blacks. Period. All of this, I've changed my ways. No way, buddy. You can't just wipe away years and years of programming, 30, 40, 50 years of programming of hate towards a race of people who has never done anything to you in life. And for you to have that type of demonic disdain towards us, enough to go on a podium and say the things that you've said in the past, then all of a sudden you've been enlightened because you need them to get in the office. Sorry. You don't get my vote. So I didn't vote for Joe Biden. And Kamala Harris, that is the worst tag team lineup ever. I mean, at least Mike Pence is diplomatic. You know, he has some decorum about himself. He has some values. He has things that he stands for. But then you got this whatever in Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Joe is diplomatic, but Kamala, oh, she get to snapping her fingers and rolling her neck. You ain't gonna tell. No, don't you say Joe Biden at the president. Now you know now, because I ain't playing that. It's like, are you serious? You've been black for 6 months, and now you want to open your mouth and try to act like you from the hood? When you done slept your way to the top? Uh-oh. They done came and did some, I saw the thing start spinning away. That mean they done came in with some tampering. People like, man, y'all ain't say nothing about Obama. Y'all ain't say Obama wasn't black. Now y'all want to say Campbell is black. Neither one of them have any family members that know anything about the struggle of blacks. And that is the facts. They don't know anything about the struggle of being black. They had no family members that went through the conditions of slavery and know what that's like from other family members. They have a disconnect. People could tell them about it, but they can never really understand what it's like when you have family members where your great great aunt was working the cornfields or picking cotton. They don't know what that's like. And a lot of people try to make it a race issue. This is a thing about race. No, it isn't. It's a thing about manipulation. People manipulate you and play off your emotion because everyone can't get past race. I keep telling you, blacks, whites, Mexicans, Chinese, whatever. You're human, Homo sapiens. You are all the same species. Okay? I've said this 1,000 times when they be like, man, we ain't no species with them. They dogs. All of them dogs. I'm like, you don't understand, do you? Can you reproduce with them? Then you are the same species. That's how that works. If you can reproduce with them, you are the same species. Okay? Now you can go sleep with a dog. You're not finna have a human dog baby. Now you finna tell me other species are making, it don't work like that. The DNA don't work. That stuff has to be done in the lab. And when they have those babies in the lab like that, it don't work. Name a case where you've seen a woman sleep with a dog and have a dog. It don't happen. Okay, so you saying they've done that and there's proof. So there's it was a half beast, half man walking around with a horse head and human body, right? Dun dun dun. Bestiality. They've tried it. Does not work. Buddy, I'm trying to tell you, if it worked, you will see more of these things running around here. Have you been to West Virginia? You'll see a lot more of them walking around. They'd be like, oh, there it is. There goes Squilly. Half pig, half. Don't forget your book, Squilly. Squilly. Are you kidding me? You will see a lot more of those running around. So no, it's not happening. Unless you are a Homo sapien, you won't be able to reproduce with them. Humans can have children with humans. A lion cannot sleep with a tiger and make a baby. No matter what they told you, they make that in a lab. That is not. But you see, the same way they poison you with the logic and all of these different things is to keep you away, to keep you in fear, to keep you feeling different about the other person. It's the same thing they said about us. People used to say our dark complexion was a disease. And they used to tell white women, if you get next to them and they rub off on you, you'll get it, and you get sick and you die. So if you don't know anything, you're going to be, I'm going to die. It's a psychosis. Mentally programming you to be weak. Yes, a liger, which they made in a damn lab. And ligers can't reproduce. Yes, they're both cats, but they cannot reproduce, can they? Because they're not the same species. Lions are not the same species as tigers. You're going to learn about species. You're going to have to look up. Don't watch the movie Species. Of course, to be albino meant that you were cursed. That's what they used to tell people, because the pigmentation in your blood cells are contaminated. So, that's how people like to move back then. It's the ignorance that keep people unknown and keep people in the dark. And one distrusting the other. Meanwhile, while you're under the web of confusion, you're not thinking clearly about what the problem truly is. The problem is making sure that you're treated well, that you're treated equally, not based on a color, but based on your merit as a person, as a human being. You have that right. So you making sure that people are doing right by you. That's what's important. And that's why people can't move and excel now. We can't focus on who's doing right by us because we're so focused on people doing wrong by us. That's why we keep voting for Democrats, because everybody else is saying black folks vote for Democrats. That's what we do. We go with the Democrat, because that's what we do. Democrats. So if that's what we're going to do, and we're just going to go with the Democrats, then why do we need anybody else? The hell we need them for? We don't care about his values. We don't care what he's going to do. If I'm a Democrat, I'm just be like, well, damn, I got all the black votes. All I had to do was be a Democrat. We just gonna vote and not think what's best for us. What being a Democrat even means now, we don't even go through all that anymore. Know what we care about? What we getting for free. Is somebody gonna get us something for free? When we getting a check? Everybody was ranting and raving over a $1,400 check. Man, I got a check from the government. $1,400. Ooh, them PPP loans. Man, biting them, they all right. They paying me to stay at the crib. They paying you to take it all back at a different time of the day. Meanwhile, you so far behind the 8 ball, it's gonna be hard for you to get out and do something in life when you behind the 8 ball. Well, of course, we're not black. But I use that to best describe is recognize, because people recognize the word black more than just saying we're Israelites or Jews. You know, sometimes you got to give people what they can relate to so they can understand it better. You think they were calling people white back then and us black? We didn't get that till we came to America. The Moors from Morocco. The Moors don't really understand that they're Israelites too. But they for some reason it just don't compute with a lot of them, and they want to fight against a lot of the Israelites. But just because you were more don't mean you were perfect. The Moors were also pirates, sailing the seas before Christopher Columbus and all the rest of these people. They the ones started the skull and bones that you see as the pirates and all that. They started that. That was their thing. Now, they might tell you something else, but the reason that they were called Moor, because they came from Morocco, and they were Moroccans. They were stolen. And if you've seen the movie Amistad, you can see that was pretty much a lot of the Moor story. When they were lied and said these people are Latin Americans, when they weren't Latin at all. They were stealing slaves, taking people and stealing them. Exactly. When you say Moors, you gotta say which Moors are you talking about? There's a lot of them. Yeah, I mean they would have won some. I would say some of the first. They had their own prostitution ring. They was one of the first to really kick that off. When they sailed the seas from here to what it was known now as Sicily and Italy, they used to run it. They used to run a brothel over there. Yep, and they took all those Italian women and prostituted them out. Took people's wives. They went willingly. They were the first pimps. The island was, they were the Etruscans. The Etruscan islands. Yeah, you can look it up. You'll find it in the history. If you don't believe me, the Moors went over there and pimped out the entire land. The Etruscan islands. They went there and took over. The Moors set sail and said this was their home. And they drove all the people that are now known as Italians, drove them over to Italy. And then they kept what the part that was Sicily was basically theirs. They ruled both parts. Then the Etruscans got real comfortable. They started getting lazy, started partying, drinking with women and selling them off for prostitution and gold. And they got real lazy. And they didn't wipe everybody out like they were supposed to. They decided, man, these women too fine. We're going to keep these women and pimp them out. And sure enough, those Italian men got together, went over there, took care of them Etruscans. Slaughtered them in their sleep, set a trap for them. All right. Gonna start at the dishwasher. Yeah, I know. You ain't ready to hear the truth. Nobody's ready to hear the truth. I don't know what I'm talking about, but go research it and see if you can find what I'm talking about. So this turned into a nice, good history lesson. History stuff you ain't gonna find in the history books. No, the Moors ran this country. See, they taught the United States of America discipline. They taught them structure, governments and everything. They didn't have any structure. That's why the White House looked just like the Moroccan. They look like the house in the Moroccans, the design of it. The Moors, they designed the White House. But the Moors would come here and they felt like they were better than the slaves that were here. No Moor could be a slave. That was in the books. When they did that, no Moor could be a slave. And the Moors would come over here with those red cherry ferrets they used to wear. Walk past the slaves as if they were better than them. They was like, I'm a Moor. Can't be touched. There you go, Uncle Frank. Abraham Lincoln betrayed the Moors. And that's because the president could stay on for a while because the states weren't united. So being president of the country was different. So they had a president come in and for a certain period of time, and I think they had like a 2-year span. I forgot what it was. So you had like all these different presidents, and the first 6, 7, they were all black. They were Moors. They built them. They showed them how to make governors. You gotta say like, look, it's ran almost like war. You need somebody who's the head, the president. Then you have your vice president, second in command. Then you have your guy that's in charge of your secretary of your defense for your military. They set the structure up the same way it's done in war, the same way it was done in Morocco. So they did the same structure as the way it was done in Africa. We started that. Our military attack strategy. That's why it took them so long to get the guys from the Congo, because they were being attacked in ways they've never seen before in their life. These people knew their land, and you couldn't come over there and just get them. They were very militant. So the style that they used, the military used that to this day. In preparing, they was like, I've never seen anything like that. Camouflage. It was something they've never seen before. A L7 attack squadron. They never seen nothing like that. Somebody come in an L-shaped attack squadron with arrows. They've never seen anything. Spears coming out of every direction, and they couldn't even see where it was coming from. Getting the high ground attack. Pinning them into what they call the death spot, leading them to their death. Having decoys set up where people follow other people and they never can catch them because they're so fast. And by the time they get there, they've been lured into a death trap where there's a wave coming from the behind and there's a wave from the front. and they made a what they call an L shape, where the troops will be one way and then they'll make another way so that they don't ever shoot each other. And anything in that middle is dead as Dillinger. The United States lost a lot of people trying to grab people from slaves from the Congo. That's why it wasn't very many of them that they took as hostage. The Congo was a place that they had to get the hell up out of real fast. And the ones they brought here, that was a mistake because they're thinking we're all the same. We all spoke different languages. But they started a lot of uprisings using the military strategy and talking in codes to one another. They started to signal and started uprisings at all of these different places. So before Nat Turner, they only tell you about Nat Turner. Oh, Nat Turner started the uprising. Nat Turner, oh, before Nat. Those Congolans, they were too smart. They didn't stop being a soldier just because they was in a land they didn't know. They know war. They didn't fear death. That is a dangerous thing to have. And you don't know when it's going to come because they spoke a different language. They can communicate using body language and sign, and they can understand it. But they were contacting the other Congolans, and they had an uprising, and those uprisings were taking over the whole compound, scaring these people. They took out a lot of people. Moor doesn't mean moron. They were called Moors because they came from Morocco. They were Moroccans. They helped unify all the states, right? Each state would have their own law, but they would have laws of the country, and the states would be unified. Well, this was going to be a problem here because they betrayed the Moors. They stabbed them in the back, helped them build this United States that they wanted to do, the president of the United States, and they betrayed him. That's why you hear George Washington, he never told a lie. You ever heard that lie? That was the lie right there. George Washington never told a lie. George cut down the cherry tree. What they meant by that is he cut down the Moors because they wore the cherry ferrets. And that was they call that the cherry tree. They were joking. George, he admits he cut down the cherry tree. I cannot tell a lie. I did it. Because he bragged about actually crossing them, which led to the War of the South, where the Confederates was fighting the Bluecoats. They didn't want to be part of the United States. I heard that Moor was another name for uh, the highest level you can get when they were learning in Egypt, and that's why they were Moors. And then I heard that they were Moors from Moroccan, so it's different type of what the Moor is. But Moor is just an Israelite. It's the same thing. They try to separate themselves, and it's ridiculous. It's like some Israelites don't understand. Like they believe that you have to believe everything that's like in the Bible. The Israelite got to know the Bible. The Bible is good, and there's nothing wrong with the Bible um, as far as reading, if you can understand it. Some people they don't understand things. Are a lot of things in the Bible. You have to understand what was happening in the times the Bible was created. When the Bible was created, the people who are making the Bible are the people who are against everything the Bible stands for. Okay, man, they hit me again. All right, we must hit some tropes today, man. They came with the sabotage quick. The Romans were putting together the Bible. So they're taking books and they're making sure what goes in, what is taken out. That is right about the Boston Tea Party. You're absolutely correct. I think me and you talked about that, Frank. Well, you have to be able to translate it. It's written in code. A lot of things are written to fool people that are basically the masters who got to approve of all this. Because what they want is their version out. And their version is to have their guy, who was Paul, who changed his name to Paul and started working with the Romans. And they let him write damn near 80% of the Bible. All his books are in there. He never walked with Jesus, nothing. He wrote First Corinthians, he wrote all of it. He wrote almost the entire Bible. And I read Proverbs, Genesis, everything that don't have anything to really do with Paul. I read John. I read everybody who not really dealing with Paul. Have you noticed a lot of the miraculousness happens in Paul's writing? John the Baptist, that's in Paul's writing. Well, here's the thing about him. He's someone that wanted to be part of the original 12, and he wasn't. And he was ostracized. And there was no book of Paul. Paul was Paul was somebody trying to pretend to be one of the 12. He was a writer. He never walked with Jesus. He never walked with any of the disciples when Jesus was alive. He said he saw Jesus on a road one time. And I'm like, huh? And he's like, he came to me in a vision. If somebody told you that right now, and they said, man, I seen Michael Jackson, his car rode past me. And he came to me in a vision. Does that qualify you to write 80% of the Bible talking about that man? And we supposed to listen to you more than the people that walked with him, who were the original 12? You know, John, all these guys. I'm like, Luke. I'm like, where is. You're not in the photo, dog. You wasn't at the Last Supper. Well, the most of the books are written by Paul. You can look up and see how many books Paul has written in the Bible. That tells you about the flaws. And one of the most important people in there is the Christ, right? The Christ is one of the most important people in the Bible. Why is there a conflict in different religions as to what happened to him? And why is it Paul that's telling this story so vividly when Paul wasn't there? Mm-hmm. I can't tell you your purpose of life, but my purpose in life is to make sure I keep my soul, my sanity, and the strength of God in this land of chaos. Nothing on this world will change me. Enoch discussed a lot that was happening that people would not believe. So it was knocked out of the Bible completely. But these are the lost books of the Bible. The Catholic Bible has more books in it. I possess all the books. If you want to get the true meaning, you'll have to get the Torah. Next to that, it would be the Quran. Then next to that will be the Bible. The Torah is where the Bible. All of these are translations of the Torah. The Torah is the Bible, the book. The original book is in Sudan. The King James Version is a translation from the Weinstein version, which is in German. The Bible that we read now is translated from German, which is the Weinstein version. Yes, I've read the Quran. A lot of the stories in the Bible, a lot of it is in the Quran. The thing is that it's a little bit more explained in the Quran than it is in the Bible, including the Ten Commandments. The Ten Commandments are not 10 lines. There is no thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not. No, that's not how it goes. If you get the Quran, it tells you exactly what was said for each commandment. But what the Bible does is just breaks it down to thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not. That's not how it goes. It's a little bit more explained and it's in detail on what each thing means. Exactly. The Ten Commandments is the 10 things they wanted to take out of it. That's the two major laws. But there are so many other laws that the laws of man. That's from basically Ethiopia. It's a town above in Ethiopia. It's right above. I forgot the name of it, but it's like where one of the first churches ever was made is. Well, that's really what the Bible is the book of the dead. Because everybody's in the Bible's dead. But that's like saying everybody in the movie Casablanca is dead. you know, of course it's the book of the dead. But sometimes people, they're so into the book. Oh, a Jesus freak. Those are scary people. And that's because their parents were so religious, and when she had kids out of wedlock, she was going to hell, and the devil won't accept her soul, and they screwed her head all the way up. And she continued to make more mistakes. She wouldn't listen to reason. She had Jesus stuff posted on her car, like pictures and everything. And I remember we went out, finally got her out of the Bible, and her friend told her, like, go and enjoy yourself, have fun. She comes out, and we're having a great time, right? And we're watching Law Abiding Citizen. I'll never forget it. And this the first time, I wish I had seen this movie before I brought her. We watching it, and sure enough, man, Gerald Butler grabbed that T-bone steak and started jabbing dude in the neck with it. Punching him in the throat with that T-bone. And man, it's just blood. It was so gory. I said, damn. I'm out. It's going to take me a year to get through this now. I said, damn. I walked up back to the car. I'm like, I didn't know they were going to do that. She was, oh my God, I didn't know that was so much blood. She starts going into prayer. She goes back in the car. There's all this Jesus stuff hanging in there. I'm like, oh my God. A fine Jesus name. I gotta let this one go. Gotta let this one go. I tried to bring her out of it. Because she loved the way, me and her would talk the Bible and all this stuff. And I'm like, you gotta understand something about the Bible. You gotta actually live the book. You can't, okay, these is the stories that happened in the past. It's informing you. But you take those things and go live life. You don't make yourself subservient to the book. Like you thinking putting these pictures up of Jesus is gonna protect you. No, it's not gonna happen that way. And sure enough, she was getting more closer to me, and her baby daddy was like, man, she ain't even listening to me no more. So he had the ace in the hole. He knew he had to change strategies quick. Because she was starting to see the error in her ways and hanging out with me. Then he came over with a wedding ring. I'm going to join your church. And I'm willing to do everything now. I'm a sinner and I want to be a better father. And I'm like, I ain't doing that. I'm out. I'm out. I ain't competing with that. You won. Good one, dude. He went and married this girl. She went and she's like, he wants to get married. He's joining the church and he's going to get the pastor's blessing. I said, well, good luck to y'all. I'm out. He one up me. He had to pull out all stops. I told her, I said, you're not doing what God wants. You're putting what you want before what God wants and trying to say this is what God wants. Good luck to you. And let's just say it didn't work out. He got her pregnant and went back to the same old ways. And I said, yeah. Remember what I told you? Sometimes we put what we want in front of what God wants. And we're trying to make us think this is what God wants for me. Nope, this is what you wanted. God didn't send you that. God sent you me. God sent you the angel. But you fell for the devil. The war in heaven? Absolutely. Well, if you look at it, you look up the crucifixion of David, then you look up the crucifixion of Jesus. It's the same thing. The King of Kings, Lords of Lords, right? How many times did they say that for people? They talk about the crucifixion of David, right? It's like, whoa, so who are they really talking? Because it's not even making